If I ask you to think about a strong and confident woman you know, who springs to mind? What do you think about when you look at that woman? What challenges did she face that eventually shaped her? What opportunities did she take, either in childhood or as an adult, that took her out of her comfort zone? Have you ever asked her? Behind every confident woman is a story that will reach back to her childhood and the experiences, both good and bad, that shaped her into the amazing woman she is today. Strong women want their voices to be heard. I know these women too, and I admire them. Seek out the strong women around you and talk to them about how they got to where they are now. Then encourage your daughter to talk to them too. Help our girls learn from them so they can aspire to follow in their footsteps. Everyone has a story to tell, but how often do they tell it? I want to start by sharing a story of my own. There is something quite magical about telling a story. Some say that storytelling unites people and creates deeper connections. I think it's also a powerful method for learning. Well, that's how I like to see it anyway. It starts with a story. It was the summer of 2018, and I was at the height of my personal career. It was a mild, sunny day in the city of London. I love days like these. I got off the Underground at Goode Street Station and enjoyed the short walk to the British Museum. I had never been to the British Museum before, despite it being one of the largest museums in the world. In fact, I had visited very few museums in my life. This trip would be a new experience for me. On arrival, it took my breath away how beautiful this place was, inside and out. The much-loved listed building is rich in history and home to countless ancient objects. Although it's an old building, inside it's so modern. The iconic glass ceiling is quite a spectacle, and it made me think about the concept of women smashing down glass ceilings. Gosh, how things have changed over the last 100 years. Perhaps that was why the British Museum had been chosen as the venue to host that year's STEM, Science, Technology, Engineering and Mathematics Women's Summer Conference, the precise reason why I was there. I had been invited by the organisation STEM Women to deliver an inspiring keynote speech to more than 250 graduates. I was going to talk about how these bright girls are the future, a new wave of British entrepreneurs hidden within the architecture of this classic British building. I love the idea of mixing old and new in perfect harmony within these walls. I was suddenly very aware that I was the old and they were the new. I was welcomed with beaming smiles by the event conference team. As I walked down the stone staircase to the lecture theatre, I noticed that the graduates were buzzing and chatting while making their way to their seats for their next session. My session. So without too much time to spare, I followed them into the theatre and made my way towards the stage and the largest television screen I had ever seen. This would be the second largest keynote I had delivered so far. As it was in the British Museum, it was sure to become a career highlight. Little old me in the British Museum, the most visited site in the UK. I thought about the people who had graced this stage before me, from brilliant professors to English rugby player Johnny Wilkinson and contemporary artist Grayson Perry. They have all presented on this wonderful stage. I suddenly realised how fortunate I was to have been asked to come here and deliver my talk. I am rarely nervous before speaking, but somehow this one felt different. As I approached the lectern, the lights dimmed and I was very aware of the hundreds of pairs of young, eager eyes on me. Me. Being a woman in tech, this was an opportunity to talk about my favourite subject. I was about to deliver a great motivational keynote on how the audience are the next generation of entrepreneurs, which was hugely exciting to me. So, with all the excitement bubbling in my chest, why did my hands feel clammy? Why was I nervous? I had delivered this keynote many times before, but somehow that day felt different. Maybe it was because I was in such a place of history. I felt more pressure than usual.